40 years ago when I was a young woman in San Francisco, naive and just trying to figure out things. I bought, I was building my library, and I bought a copy of the Oxford American Dictionary. I was going to school and I was on welfare, so it was hard for me to buy books. This was pre-internet, and I was really proud to have this book, and I was wondering what was this whole thing. I was just becoming politicized and was wondering, what is this whole thing in the Middle East? Who are the Palestinians? And so I opened the Oxford Dictionary and I looked to Palestinian, and it said adjective and noun, and then in parentheses it said native or inhabitant of Palestine, semicolon, person in parentheses, seeking to displace Israelis from Palestine. And then in parentheses again the etymology, from Palestine in Southwest Asia plus IAN. And this is the concise Oxford Dictionary, ISBN 0-19861122-6, in case you think I'm lying or something. Then, this is decades later on another coast. I read a reference to Joseph White's in something I was reading about Edward Said. And the book or article I was reading referred to this man as being representative of a specific mindset of Israeli or Jews, a characteristic example of a specific mindset, that's what I mean. And it was a reference to this man that seemed so obvious he had no need to explain it. So I just heard this. So I Googled Joseph White, and this is what I found. And this is from a new book of poems, the Palestinian definition in this found number 2, called Found. So Joseph White, head of the Jewish Agency's Colonization Department in 1940. And he says, between ourselves, it must be clear that there is no room for both peoples together in this country. We shall not achieve our goal if the Arabs are in this small country. There is no other way than to transfer the Arabs from here to neighboring countries, all of them. Not one village, not one tribe should be left. And I think in a way that I didn't understand 30 years ago, when I read that, I began to understand what it meant to be Palestinian. And so when I told some of my young friends that I was coming here, I had a kind of a mandate, and what they said was represent for us. So I'm going to read you a poem by my mentor who has passed away, and her name was Jane Cortez, and it's from a book called Fire Spitter, and the poem is called There It Is. There it is. My friend, they don't care if you're an individualist, if you're a leftist, a rightist, a shithead, or a snake. They will try to exploit you, absorb you, confine you, disconnect you, isolate you, and kill you. And you will disappear into your own rage, into your own insanity, into your own poverty, into a word, a phrase, a slogan, a cartoon, and then ashes. Look, the ruling class will tell you there is no ruling class, as they organize their liberal supporters into white supremacist lynch mobs, organize their children into Ku Klux Klan gangs, organize their police into killer cops, organize their propaganda into a device to ossify us with angel dust, preoccupy us with Western symbols in African hairstyles, inoculate us with hate, institutionalize us with ignorance, hypnotize us with a monotone designed to make us evade reality and stomp our lives away. And we are programmed to self-destruct, to fragment, to get buried under covert intelligence operations of unintelligent committees' impulse toward death. And there it is. The enemies polishing their penises between oil wells at the Pentagon. The bulldozers leaping into demolition dances, the old folks dying of starvation, the informers wearing out shoes looking for crumbs, the lifeblood of the earth almost dead in the greedy mouth of imperialism. And my friend, they don't care if you're a leftist, a rightist, a shithead, or a snake. They will spray you with a virus of Legionnaire's disease. Fill your nostrils with the swine flu of their arrogance. Stuff your body into a tampon of toxic shock syndrome. Try to pump all the resources of the world into their own veins and then fly off into the wild blue yonder to pollute another planet. And if we don't fight, if we don't resist, if we don't organize and unify and get the power to control our own lives, then we will wear the exaggerated look of captivity, the stylized look of submission, the bizarre look of suicide, the dehumanized look of fear, and the decomposed look of repression forever and ever and ever. And there it is. Thank you.